Idiot woman! Idiot!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Josh Potter Show. Thank you so much for joining us. joshpottershow@gmail.com is where you can send in instrumentals like this award-winning song from Richie Doing Dishes. It won a Roachie not 1 but 2 years ago. The original Roachie's 1, version 1. He won Song of the Year. So you can send in your things, joshpottershow@gmail.com, or you can send in your articles. We'll get into some of those in a little bit, but I want to let you know also, I'm coming on the road, and one of the big important ones that's coming up very soon, Portland, happening on the 23rd of September at the Siren Theater. Get your tickets now. You can find the link in the description right here, or you can go over to my Instagram at Josh_Potter. My Twitter's at J_Potter. In the future, I will be at Skankfest Vegas, September 29th through October 1st. Pottstown, PA at SoulJoel's, October 20th and 21st. October 26th, I'll be over at Cobb's Comedy Club. And then on October 29th, I'll be at the Hereafter in Seattle, Washington. Many other dates also there, too. Go check those out. Make sure you go to the Patreon, patreon.com/The Josh Potter Show. We've got twitch.tv/The Josh Potter, Josh_Potter as well. That's twitch.tv/Josh_Potter. Just started streaming in a different way on there, so check it out. Things are going good. And today, it's been a long time coming. We've a very special guest. I'm excited that she's here. It's Alexis Fawx, everybody. So long. We've been waiting to have you here. It's been 3 studios. It's been 9 producers. We've got Alex now, and he's great. Shout out Alex. Shout out Milo. How have you been? And thank you for coming.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I mean, the first time we met was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Do you recall?
Yeah.
It was for that video that we made that eventually got shut down because you played. We didn't know the world we would be trafficking in, you know, where it's like you're putting up fake medical advice or whatever. And it was clearly a joke. But because we called Miss Alexis Fawx doctor. Are you a doctor? That wouldn't be like
I am on screen.
That would yes, you're like Barbie. She's been many roles and had many
it's like
occupations.
Watching YouTube.
Yeah.
I can consider myself a doctor now.
I mean, some folk have like accolades where I go like, wow, that's great. You know what I mean? Like in past lives. Where they were like a doctor. So if you were like, actually, I am a doctor. I would have been like,
been funny.
Yeah, I would have been like, wow. So YouTube got it wrong, is what you're saying. But yeah, it was like a special COVID episode of Your Mom's House.
Yeah.
And we just like were screwing around, and it was so early on that we, like I said, didn't know. And YouTube was like gonna rip they have a huge, massive channel, and this is before my podcast was created. And I remember they were like gonna rip that channel off of the internet because they were like, because it was COVID misinformation and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
And we didn't know, we didn't know that was going to be a thing. Like looking back, you go like, oh, obviously or whatever. But, at the beginning of it all, it was like, but it was so funny. I mean, you were in like you were like a cartoon doctor.
I was.
Yeah, it was like a porn that you don't even really watch anymore because it's the plot's so like preposterous, you know what I mean, and out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, do we still make those, like the crazy ones? People still like those ones.
I think there's still a market for it because it's funny. They kind of get themselves engaged.
That's true. Yeah, they're funny. They are funny.
They're getting these guys at home that are just watching there and they need something to do, and they're like, oh, that's great.
Is this weird? I'm a comedian, but I like to keep my sex and silliness kind of separate. Is that weird? People have said that's odd.
No, I totally get it. I mean, I'm not watching, the silly porn for my own good. Like, I like some pretty raunchy, crazy stuff. Like,
yeah,
that's not silly at all.
No, of course, that's very serious.
I mean, I don't know how serious it is, but
no, I mean, I just like there's been women, like that I've dated or whatever too, that just like they goof around a lot, and I'm just like, haha, yeah, okay, like.
No wonder
I don't know what
coming.
it is. It's not.
No wonder you weren't coming.
I know. It's like I don't like. I don't like silliness. I'm just like, all right, turn it off. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little something
that's
weird
like,
about that for me.
That's like when I actually take someone home and they try to like mimic maybe a scene or try to give me that like overload of dirty talk, and or the lights have to be bright. I'm like, it doesn't have to be lit up like a 7-Eleven in here. This is private time. Do you have a camera somewhere that I should know about?
Does that give you what the ladies call the ick?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I could imagine. How many guys do that? Because that's like, I would imagine you encounter men of like a different like side. One could go very like, they get nervous or whatever because, you know, they're like, I won't live up to what she's experienced. And then there are probably men that are like, I'm going to make
it's both. It is so both. Both has
is it
definitely
like
happened to me.
You want a happy middle, obviously?
Yeah, I just want a happy middle because like when I'm on private time, like I want to enjoy myself, have that connection, and just enjoy that time that it is.
Right. You don't need any crazy dialogue.
I don't need any crazy dialogue, and it's when someone says I get nervous. I'm like, oh darn it, like
yeah, that sucks too.
You know, so I like the happy medium. It's okay to be a little nervous. It's okay because I'm nervous too. I mean, like
of
it's
course.
2 people. Like I'm a human being.
Yeah.
So things
exactly.
happen.
I mean, I would hope anybody had a slight bit of percentage of nervousness every time. You know what I mean? It's like, especially when they're connecting with a person. But when it comes to the other extreme, what's the worst you've experienced? Like a guy like going like, I'm going in porno mode.
Oh my God. With porno mode is like trying to put me in like, I don't know, 12 fucking positions in the 5 minutes they're going to last. I'm like, I don't need to stand on my head for this. Do not put me on reverse cowgirl. Like, unless you got a third wheel coming in, like keep that out of it.
That's funny.
You know, like,
I didn't even think about the positions. I thought they were coming in like,
oh, they'll try to get in the positions. Like, oh, and
how does a regular guy in private time introduce like, so can we try pile driver?
I know.
How does that?
Well, I think with me, it's almost like they automatically think I'm just like, they can just move me and
yeah, but you're not.
Get into
they
it.
put you into it.
But I don't know how they would ever approach someone who's just like.
No,
like,
they don't.
Like
that's the thing. They've never
person.
asked that question before in their lives, and they're like, "Well, if I'm going to ask it, here's the time."
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
But then, do you have people that are like straight up vanilla, where they're like,
"Oh yeah," just
yeah, where they're like, yeah.
Okay.
What's going on in their heads at that moment, knowing?
I have no idea, and it's crazy because sometimes different cultures they won't even look you in the eye.
Different cultures. What the f does that mean?
different people from around the world.
I love this. Okay, hold on. I want to dive into this. Tell me about the different cultures. I want to be a worldly man. I want to know about. Let me guess. Let me take a stab in the dark if I can. I mean, we're not out of the nice boy clock, and I really don't mind. You know, I think we can get around with what we've had. Yeah, fine. We're good, right? Okay. Middle Eastern guys. I bet they talk a lot of shit, and then when they get in there, it's like they saw a ghost or something.
It can be actually a very give and go with those guys. Like
okay.
Sometimes like they're packing and they know like they've got it.
Oh, sometimes
and
they're
then
like
sometimes
really,
it's like okay, cool.
You're like, what?
It all depends. Like, where are we talking about here?
Man, one thing we can all come together on is we all have autistic people. That should unite the world.
That should unite the world.
You know, if the terrorists knew we were autistic too, would we be celebrating the 22nd anniversary of 9/11 today? I don't know.
Now watch this drive.
Autism can bring us together.
I believe that.
So I'm just wondering. So like because I've seen DMs from this part of the country to women, you know.
Yes.
And they talk a lot of shit. Do they often? What's the percentage of like living up to that talk?
Anybody that talks a lot of shit is not ever going to live up to the percentage. I mean, I would say
That's
that
a good
percentage
point.
is probably like 1%, 2%.
That is another global
But I
truth.
feel like if the more you talk, think about it, the loudest person in the room is probably not the strongest person in the room.
Yeah,
They've
but there
got a
are
point
exceptions. It's like, you know, Muhammad Ali or like Floyd Mayweather, like, you know, like guys like that like bring the talk and live up. Deion Sanders. There's like an elite percentage. Obviously, that's not the majority.
And I think that comes with boxing too. That's part of their entertainment game. Is does
or
smack
athletes
talk.
in general. But
Yeah.
yeah, and like I mean, all athletes, and I was trying to think of like actors are that way. There's definitely some comics who are like talk a lot of shit and then they
I'm
do
sure.
some wild shit. So, I mean, I think there's a percentage at the upper crust, but yeah, I guess that's a global truth as well that there are just shit talkers around the world. So tell me about the other cultures. That was just my one that I put a stamp on
I find that
in honor of the anniversary.
Now watch this drive.
I find that some of the like Asian cultures are a little bit more shy, and they don't look you in the eye or in the face when
They don't look you in the eye.
like they'll look away, and I don't know, like like, hey, I'm over here, that kind of thing.
Autism. We should all join hands. I mean, I guess it would be tough to get everyone
I'll join your
to.
hand.
But you know what I mean? Like around the world, hands around the world for we're all autistic around the world. The whole
Yeah.
everything. Asian cultures, yeah, they're a little more like polite and
Very
demure.
polite, and I think it's just maybe there's a shyness or something with that.
And are these like you've traveled the world, obviously?
But on the same token, I've had Asian men be like, "Can I blow coke off your asshole? And will you peg
Well, I
me
was
later?"
gonna say,
So,
are these?
so it all depends on where you're from, I guess.
When you peg me later was the key to that last part of that sentence because it's like there's still a little demure, you know, at the end of the day. Sure, let me blow coke off you, but also peg away.
Peg.
I don't like that that's what we call it, pegging, because that's my mom's name.
Oh,
So it's just, it's made me shy away from there, that's all, amongst other reasons. But is there a culture that likes the pegging more than others? Or is that another one?
actually,
I'm trying to unite the world. We're all kind of similar.
I would say pegging. I get a lot of white older men that like pegging.
White older men. Yeah, they're just...
Yeah.
Are they the
or
ones
younger,
that are like...
Or there's a lot of young guys that are into it too.
I bet more open-minded youngsters, but also closeted old men,
Yeah. Yeah.
where they're very like, "Brrr,
I'm angry, but could
I'm
you
so
please-"
angry about gays." Like, why do we care that Barack Obama might have been gay? Do you
Oh,
see
is that a thing now?
That's it coming back. It's like Tucker Carlson like interviewed the guy. First of all, if this guy really sucked off Barack Obama, a drone would have blown up his house like 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
When he
Like
committed
the second he
suicide or
started,
something.
the second he started flapping his gums, you know, a drone would have been like right on this guy.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Like that. Yeah, that sounds silly.
Obama would have been like, we had a drone who went rogue and struck America. I decommissioned the drone, and this guy would be dead. I mean, Obama, their chef's dead. I mean, this other guy died recently.
Wow.
They would kill this guy if he was. I'm surprised they just haven't done it anyway, because he's over there like, I did crack with Obama and blew him. And I guess it was a story back when he was running, but I never heard it.
He did crack and blew him? Really?
Yeah, there was
Jeez.
always that rumor that Obama like crack. I always thought that was racist because he was
Yeah,
black. You know, I'm
yeah.
like, yo, come on. It was probably coke. He went to Harvard, for Christ's sake. I mean, the guy wasn't.
Well,
slumming it.
wasn't the mayor in D.C. a crack addict?
Yes, no, that was for real. I mean,
Yeah, that
he
was
just
for
went
real. He
Straight,
like-
yeah. He was doing
And
it
he
while
got
was in
elected
office.
over it.
He was like at the podium, like, oh yeah, and then like I forget what that guy's name is, Marion Barry.
Marion Barry.
Marion Barry. Did you see Obama's? Show Obama's the guy. There's no way. If I'm Barack
Oh, let me
Obama
see
and I'm
this
getting
guy.
my dick sucked, I'm getting my dick sucked by a good-looking guy.
Yeah, you would
Especially
think
when he
so.
was younger, because they said he was like in college. This guy, maybe when he was young, he didn't look so bad. But
How many years ago was this?
apparently, this was back in the day when Obama was at Harvard.
At Harvard.
And I mean,
we did a lot of stuff in college.
yeah, that's the thing. It's
so
like,
what?
A, who gives a shit? B, why are we talking about it? The guy's not even the president anymore.
Exactly.
And it's like, who's the guy at home that's like, haha, got him.
Yeah.
He's gay, I told you. Like, so what? That's the guy that's like, can you please beg me? Like at
Yeah,
the
exactly,
you know, the one
at
that
the
like
end.
behind closed
You start with a
doors.
finger, and next thing you put your biggest dick in him.
Yes. Is
Yeah.
that how it goes? It's
Yeah.
like they go, it's not, the finger's not big enough.
It's just go maybe a little more.
What do you have? Then you have to get something out though. Does their mind doesn't change in that moment where it's like
Not at all.
fleeting? Oh, and you have
Have
something
have
at the
them hold
ready
their
typically.
ankles. They're doing a happy baby.
Yeah. change my dye. Do you?
No, that's
do you
a
have?
fetish.
Do you have something at the ready? There's
Wait,
the guy.
that's the guy?
Right. Now, maybe.
No.
Now, here's the thing. Barack Obama's made a great deal of money
What
over
happened
the
to his
years. He's probably aged better because of him being, American royalty, so to speak. And this guy's been doing crack off CD covers with random men and blowing them, evidently, according to his testimony.
Wow.
So maybe he's just aged poorly. I mean, I'm a really ripe 37. You know what I'm saying? So who knows what I'm going to look like when I'm that guy's age? I shouldn't throw stones, but at the very least, you would think Obama, maybe he just wanted to get his dick sucked. And then the other thing that
I like
came
how
out,
they matched the pictures on that one. Facial
the
expressions.
kissy faces to each other. Now, the other thing that they were talking about is evidently Obama wrote a letter to Michelle. Am I right about that? Where he was talking about how he just wants to suck a dick or whatever. Something like that. But who knows what's real and what's not real. Now, this could have been, this is like evidently like,
Michelle.
no, that's not the, we've all heard that one.
We've heard that one.
That one's like a racist thing, you know what I'm saying? But there's evidently there was like a letter and I don't know. I mean, there probably wasn't a letter.
Wouldn't they just talk it out? Don't they live in the same house?
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Why we're all, I guess that's like a prerequisite to becoming a president is you have to write the woman you love letters, even in the new age. Because it's like they all come up with that. They're like, here's a letter from George W. Bush to Laura Bush. And it was like, I'm going to bomb America. 9/11 style. No, I don't know. I mean, especially with like the internet being what it is, I don't know what's real anymore at all. And when Tucker Carlson's talking to this guy, I'm like, why? He just had like the ex-president on. He had RFK. He had like, some pretty big interviews. And then he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull this guy out of the fucking drawer from 10 years ago and be like, remember when you said you blew Barack Obama? Tell us about that. What does that say right
crazy.
there?
See, I make love.
What does it say? Can you read it to me?
Yeah, so he's writing a letter. It was actually to his ex-girlfriend before he met
Oh,
Michelle.
ex-girlfriend. Okay.
The quote was...
Who's got these letters laying around?
Yeah,
why
who
not
keeps this
Why
stuff?
not hold on to him? He's romantic.
My
I wrote
mind
a girl-
is androgynous.
I wrote a girl that was like dumping me a letter as like a goodbye and a thank you thing.
Yeah.
And I overheard her talking about it, and she wanted to like put a restraining order against me. So letters, I feel like letters. I'm not doing
Letters
them anymore.
sound a little dangerous.
I'm out on letters. I thought
not-
it was like a nice gesture. No,
That doesn't
you look
sound
like
nice
the
at all.
Joker, evidently. So go ahead.
In the letter, he says, in regard to homosexuality, I must say that I believe that it is an attempt to remove oneself from the present, a refusal, perhaps, to perpetuate the endless farce of earthly life. You see, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. My mind is androgynous to a great extent, and I hope to make it more so until I can think in terms of people, not women, as opposed to men. But in returning to the body, I see that I have been made a man, and physically in life, I choose to accept that.
Where does he say about the penises? Wasn't he like, every day I dream about penis?
I think the line, you see, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination got
so
blown up
somebody
and-
conflated that to being like, he said he likes to suck a dick every day. That was them imagining it and dreaming about it.
Yes.
I think maybe that
Interesting.
person that imagined it wants to suck some
That's
dick.
really what it all seems to me too. It's like a bunch of closeted people on the right are like, see, he's gay, and then they go home and they furiously masturbate to it.
With their
Out of
own
anger,
tears.
they're like, I don't even know why I'm mad. He's gay, and he made gay marriage legal, and he's gay. See, I told you. And then
Exactly.
they go get on all fours, and they're like, put something in my ass, please. That's really where this was going. These are the people who are furthering this narrative, the people who want to get pegged behind closed doors, but not out in the open.
Not out in the open.
I think we should normalize getting pegged in the open.
I think so too.
In so many words.
Absolutely.
Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by Shopify. Oh, yeah. You wait too long in this comedy business on a punchline, you kill the joke. Make a customer wait too long at checkout. Guess what? You killed your sale. Burner. I don't have one of those sound effects. Shopify, the internet's best converting checkout experience makes online shopping quick and easy, turning your audience from browsers to buyers. Shopify powers a whopping 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, trusted by major brands like Brooklinen and Rothy's. No matter what you sell, Shopify can help you too. Not only do they make checkout a total breeze, they make getting paid simple by instantly accepting every type of payment, which I love because guess what? The daddy of the roaches is getting merch and it's ready to go. And guess what? I'm going to be selling it through Shopify. My store will be run by Shopify and everything like that. So as soon as it's all set up, I'm getting it set up this week. I'm going to be selling you some new Roach merch, and it's all thanks to the help of Shopify. So Shopify isn't just for the nuts and bolts, by the way, of making a sale. You can also customize your online store with gorgeous, flexible templates that are easy to use, or even try their new AI tool to instantly write product descriptions and email subject lines that capture interest and save you tons of time. I am a computer moron. I don't know how to do anything. So the fact that I was able to set all this up and use all the fine tools that Shopify has and set up a pretty awesome store that you're going to see very soon, I'm excited for you to see it, by the way. The fact that I can do it, you can do it, my friends. So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Josh, all lowercase, by the way. So go to shopify.com/Josh, all lowercase, JOSH, to take your business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/Josh. Today's Josh Potter Show is also brought to us by DoorDash, and boy, oh boy, is it back to school time. Things are starting to get a little hectic, and when you don't have time to drag your toddler with you to the grocery store and watch them sob because you're not going to buy them candy or they're grabbing for things off the shelves. I want to eat this, I want to eat that. And you're like, eggs are $3 million. Guess what? You can turn to DoorDash right now. And with DoorDash grocery delivery, you get exactly what you want delivered right to your door. It saves you time. You select all the things you need, and voila, it shows up, and you don't even think about it after you select them. It's pretty amazing. Saves you an entire trip, and you skip the temper tantrums. I love it. I just did grocery shopping on it this weekend while football was happening. Oh my God, I just sat on my couch, watched football like I would, grocery shopped on my old DoorDash app, and boy, oh boy, it was there before you know it. You've trusted DoorDash to bring you nachos when you were drunk at 2 a.m. Now they're here to help you stock the pantry. Like a true friend, they've seen you through good times and bad, so sit back, relax, and let DoorDash bring you that head of lettuce that you need for dinner. So right now, you can get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to $20 value when you use code GOBILLS at checkout. That's right. I was just telling you how I was watching football all weekend. This is a perfect code to use for your DoorDash. Limited time offer. Terms apply. That's 50% off up to a $20, no minimum subtotal, and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store. Enter code GOBILLS. Don't forget that's code GOBILLS for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. Well, it's also a very special week that you're here, not only because of the anniversary.
Now watch this drive.
9/11, but also I don't know why that's so funny, fellas. Trying to never forget over here. And I do like that we're all giggling about it, though. 22 years later, we need a little giggle. Like, I've seen a lot more memes, since we've passed that 20-year mark. People are just memeing and like crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a girl that tweeted a meme that said, like, there are two towers inside of all of us. It's like that two tigers thing. But yes, no, it's also the first week of the NFL season has passed. And if you're watching this thinking I'm going to react about the Bills or the Jets, whether it was a win or a loss, I don't know yet. In this time, we are before it happening. So you don't get to see my anguish or my joy quite yet, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. If you've come here to be a little pervert and see me upset or see me happy, you don't get that. You have to be a pervert in the traditional sense today. Ooh. But nevertheless, it is time for the sports. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Dee, 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 dee. Now, you don't have to give names, I'm sure, but have you ever gotten hit up by a sports player?
Yeah, I get hit up a lot in my DM.
I'm sure.
By actually, it's not so much like American football. It's more like football over in Europe.
Well, those guys are more rich than the ones over here.
And
I'd say.
they're quite built.
Yeah, no.
So I'm always like, and it's always funny. Some will follow me, and the ones that don't follow me, I'm like, where's the wife?
Oh, is that why? That's a great telltale sign.
Yeah, I'm like, because I don't want those.
Yeah, you don't want that
problems.
smoke from one of those wags. Is that what they call them? Wags, the wives.
The wags.
Yeah, they call them wags. And
There's
a TV show about them, but it's an acronym for something. Wives and girlfriends, maybe.
Wives and girlfriends. Oh, that'd be great.
Sussed it out in my head. God, I'm smart. But have you taken them up on? They're like, come to Milan or something like that. Have you taken any of them up on?
No, I haven't taken anybody up yet.
Interesting. I mean, you make your own money, so you don't care about the wealth of them. But I mean, there's some of them that make $1 bazillion. Some Saudi princes like paying them $8 trillion to just play for a shitty team, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. And also, Messi just went to Miami, Florida.
Yes.
They're going to be making a lot.
Oh
with that.
my God.
The tickets already went up.
Tickets are like $5 billion.
insane.
I mean, you think Taylor Swift's expensive. Try to see Messi on the road at any point. But also, it's like MLS soccer, so he's just playing like he's playing with 16-year-olds. It's hilarious.
Absolutely.
But I mean, he makes $1 trillion, like I think is the actual number or something like $1 billion.
It's
I think.
insane.
Yeah,
It's
but
insane.
I mean, if the likes of Messi hit you up, I'd be upset if.
I would answer that one.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the big dogs to
Yeah.
I like look them up. I'm like, what's your net worth? Okay. There's your wife and
Let's
kid
see
involved.
what the last contract was signed here.
I do my research. I'm not just going to step out there for no reason.
But what about America? Any like basketball?
I think I've had a lot of young college basketball guys.
College basketball? They don't even make any.
like, yeah, they're not
Yeah.
doing much. Or like they're your team I've never heard of. I've had
third
those.
round pick for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, something like that. Actually. I'm like, I've got to recognize that name. But yeah, I get. But it's mostly like soccer and football.
Now, here's a question. I mean, you don't have to out yourself in any way. If there was one that you wish, perhaps a football player, an NFL player, if there was one that you wish would hit you up, who would it be?
I mean, Ronaldo. I mean,
Oh, okay.
like.
That is a soccer player still, but yes.
Yeah.
What about do you know any American football players? I said football. I should have known that I was speaking nebulously. I should have said American football.
No.
No?
I watch a lot of European football, to be honest.
Well, let's see what you think of this guy. This guy we've chronicled on the show, I think since like episode 3 or something like that. And we've chronicled him because he's a little sus. He's a little weird. And he's grown from being just like a little suspicious and kind of like awkward. He's very out there and very like wholesome, quote unquote. He went from that to just being like downright weird once he got traded to the Denver Broncos. I'm talking, of course, of Russell Wilson. And last season, we got to see him be the weirdest he's ever been. He was doing weird commercials.
Oh, let's see
He was
this.
saying weird shit. He went on a plane. His teammates hated him. His coaches hated him. It ended up being a disaster. They fired the coach. They brought in Sean Payton, who is a no-nonsense guy. This is the guy that he was suspended for a whole season because he was a part of Bountygate, which is where he was paying players. Him and his defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, were paying players to, like, they go, if you injure the quarterback, I'll give you $1,000. Stuff like that.
way.
Yeah. So they were incentivizing playing dirty, essentially. So he was suspended for a year, and then eventually Netflix made a movie about Sean Payton, where while he was suspended for a year, he coached his son's high school team, and they made a movie about that with Kevin James starring Sean Payton. It was
They'll make
so
a movie
bizarre.
out of anything.
Really, I mean, talk about something out of the NFL universe, anything that's happened in the history of time of the National Football League, someone decided to make a a movie that.
I would be so disappointed.
I'd rather a movie about Bountygate,
Yeah.
where Greg Williams is in there like a
Oh,
fucking
100%.
cokehead, and he's like, I'll give you $1,000 if you break his leg, stuff like that.
I would love to see that. That would be interesting. That, the other stuff, no.
No, same.
Not at all.
So now, Sean Payton eventually came back. He was with the Saints. He retired. And then he was like, you know what, I'm not retiring. So the Broncos gave him $1 bazillion to come out of retirement. And he's coaching now Russell Wilson. And everything's changed because now Sean Payton's come in. He's fired all of Russell's special personal coaches. He had his own coaches, which was so weird. Yeah, isn't that bizarre? He had an office.
Wait,
Russell Wilson
what's
had
his position again?
He's the quarterback of the football team. He had his own office. So all this stuff, Sean Payton comes in and goes, "You're a player. Just be a player." And recently, because like I said, he's been so late, he's always making videos with he's married to Sierra. Oh, you know Sierra? Yeah. Let me see you 1 2 step, that lady.
Yep.
He's married to her, so they're always doing like videos where they're trying to talk about the Lord, or they're like trying to be cool and do like a TikTok trend, and it's cringy and awful every time. Yeah. So like recently, this just happened. According to ESPN, Sean Payton told Russell Wilson that to salvage his career, he needs to focus less on Russell Incorporated. Whatever that means. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously we know what it means. He goes, "Will you fucking stop kissing all the babies?" He said, "You're not running for public office." And then he said, yeah, he can be difficult, the GM Mike Loomis said about Peyton, but they're best friends, evidently. He's 1 or 2 steps ahead of everybody. But yeah, so now Russell Wilson is getting flack from his coach. So yesterday, they played their first game together, and Russell Wilson actually looked pretty good.
Oh.
And he's looking like he might salvage his career.
Oh, good.
But that means he's putting a top on the pot. You know what I'm saying? The boiling water is getting shoved down. He's going to lash out in some way.
You think so?
Keep your eyes peeled in the DMs for this guy.
Oh, I will.
I want you to watch him.
I'm gonna
if he's in your DMs,
search him out. Maybe I'll go like a picture. Just
you do a little entrapment.
Should I like a little picture?
Yeah, you do a little entrapment.
Hey, I really liked how your
Russell
your
and
last
Sierra,
TikTok was.
Yeah, Russell and Sierra on the rocks after Russell seen DMing Alexis Fawx, star of stage and screen. Oh boy, what else happened in sports? Yeah, so get ready to keep your eyes on that, folks. I want you to watch out for him. Let's see. We got. I don't know why I came across this. This just like showed up on my Instagram feed. I'm a big video game guy. I'm sure you don't have any sort of presence in this world, but I play sports video games. I'm not like war guy. All right.
Yeah, I've only played Demon Slayer.
What's Demon Slayer?
It's a game made from an anime, so it's all about like slaying demons and.
Yeah, I guess I could have ventured to guess that was the case by the title. Yeah, I don't play any like role playing games or like war. I think war is dumb, you know.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, you're playing like sports." I'm like, "You're playing war. Like, what's the, who cares?" So I play like football, baseball, hockey. There's a basketball one that I don't really touch, but 2015. This is from 2015. This is like almost a decade ago. They would have the players voice their own graphics.
Oh my God, great.
So here, I never saw this before. It's so detailed. Here's Dion Waiters of the Cleveland Cavaliers at the time and his voice acting. And I can't, before I play this, I've been in sessions like this where you're the engineer and you have to get people to like read takes and stuff like that. And you just know when it's never going to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And so you're just like, whatever, dude, just...
I think
I've done commercials for people that are supposed to do like a car dealership commercial, and all they do is deliver like 3 lines, and they just go like, "And then we're at the Lacey Ford," and you're like, can you just like you try to give them a little bit? They don't listen to you. They go, "Okay, yeah, sure," and then they do it exactly the same, and you go, "Great, man, that was great." And then you just, because I don't want to be here all day, so let's watch Dion Waiters and some of his fantastic voice acting.
Who have thought?
About what?
That a young buck like you could actually do the right thing and avoid getting his sorry butt kicked out the game.
It doesn't even time out right with the...
Sounds like a wise fella to win in this league. You need all hands on deck. Good call. Check it.
The ref should have checked his cell. He was trash all night.
Only thing we can control there is ourselves. Forget the ref, the fan, even the opponent. Handle your business.
Was this actually in the game?
It was in the game. This is a cutscene from the game.
This was not like just a random thing.
No, and I feel awful now that I've watched it in full. I feel like we're making fun of a man who cannot read. Like Dion Waiters maybe can't read, and that's okay.
No, that is okay.
He's made $1 bazillion, Dion Waiters.
I feel like I probably have put some engineers through that whenever I had to do voiceovers.
Do you have a difficult time reading off of a paper?
No, I prefer paper versus a screen.
Same. I need paper.
I love having a hand, and that's how I study my scripts.
See, okay, here's the thing. When it comes to that, he didn't have to memorize that even. He's literally like, I went and I said to the ref, like, that's the problem.
That is the problem.
He's reading, and that's the problem. And that's what makes me feel bad. It's like when the teacher would pick like a kid in the class, and you're like, you know, Ralph sucks, dude. Like, this is gonna be, I'm gonna be sitting here like this the whole time because I can't handle the fact that, and it's like, well, he has to do it to learn, and it's like, no.
No,
Public ridicule doesn't help someone read better. You know, when they're up at the front of the class and they're like, there was a dog.
it probably made him more nervous.
No, of course.
You
I
know?
loved it.
And that's going to like shut it down.
I remember saying, I go, this is the only thing I'm good at. Is like, they would have you read in front of the class or whatever. I was like, at one point I go, this is all I'm good at. I don't know how to like do the math. I don't know how to like, you know, this or that. I was like, just reading up here, I look like a fucking star.
Yeah.
And that was how that's why I'm here today, folks.
Yeah.
But Dion Waiters shoots basketballs. He's not a voice actor. And I think they realize that in future games. I don't know. Do you guys play this game?
Mm-mm.
Do you, Milo?
I do, yeah.
So do they still do this with the players where they have them voice act themselves?
They've got a lot of different actors in there. I'm not sure if it's the players anymore.
I would think with AI and everybody's voice is somewhere
That's a
found.
good
I'm
point.
sure that they're just taking AI now and using their voice.
That's
for
a good point. And I'm sure a guy like Dion Waiters is like, please
Please do it.
use AI. Holy hell.
I wouldn't blame them. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Or it's you have to stand in front of the class and read essentially. Now, when you've done, you said you had to do voiceovers. Is that like do you go back and have to like fill in the sound for? Is it what is that called? ADR? Do you have to do that for?
Yeah, kind of. It's just like it's part of like usually like a series or a movie, and it's like me walking. It will be like me walking up to the door and my voice saying what I'm doing.
Right, you're like
I'm
what
really
you're thinking about.
Yeah, like
Yes,
I'm thinking
like
about
that.
my stepson or something like
Right,
that.
right, right. I thought it was like you had to do ADR, where it's like, you know how someone will be saying a line and they don't necessarily get it, so you have to go back and like voice it again. You watch yourself. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I've done that in person to some other actors. Like, no, this is how you want to emotion. Like, because it would be like this guy, Dion, and he'd be like, "Have you ever been upset before?
Oh, the shitty acting.
Have you ever been excited? Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
put that feeling behind what you're trying to say,
Yeah,
and it will
yeah,
come
yeah,
out
yeah.
flat." And then, like, I've seen the director be like, "Okay, moving on."
Yeah, they don't- they're
There's
like-
no more. It's fucking also porn.
This is the part people scrub through.
Yeah.
So you have to memorize the lines.
I do, especially for large scripts. If I want to do like, you know, if we're doing a movie or a feature or some kind of series where I'm going to have 3 days of lines
Right.
or more, then yeah, I'll try to memorize it.
Is it ever an issue with a co-star who doesn't take that practice where they?
Yes.
And so what are they like? Line? Are they doing that the whole time? Like,
Yeah, that happens. And the only thing, like, what happens is that's just going to slow down your day so much
Of
more.
course.
Because dialogue alone, even for a short script, can be like 3 hours and then you're having sex for 30 minutes of
Yeah.
the day. And I'm like, I'm trying to get to the sex part.
Right.
So when someone doesn't know their lines, you know, that 3 hours can definitely turn into 5.
Right, and it probably wears on the ability to enjoy the sex part. I would
Yeah, it
imagine.
really does.
It's like when you're on a date and the dialogue's going, a girl's talking to you like Dion Waiters, and you're like, I'm not gonna enjoy fucking this girl.
Should I just order the salad?
This girl talks like Dion Waiters in NBA 2K15.
I'm so going to have that in my mind on every date now forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be like. You know, Dion Waiters in NBA 2K15. Yeah, she kind of talked like that, and
I'm going to text you and be like,
I
oh my God.
feel as though it might be illegal to have sex with her at that point.
Do I have clear consent here?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
mind if I get this on video?
Yeah. Do I need a guardian? What do I?
Is there somebody else I need to ask? Dude, no way.
Yeah, so I saw that. I'm like, this is wild. And poor Dion Waiters. I feel terrible for him to a degree. There was another thing that happened this weekend. College football, obviously, was going on. And I needed college football this weekend because it was the prelude to the first week of the NFL season. I needed to wet my whistle. I watched a lot of college ball on Saturday. And some people, I got this sent to me at joshpottershow@gmail.com by so many people. Such a deluge
Oh, what is this?
of emails of this sent to me. It's another announcer, an analyst, making a bit of a gaffe in his analysis of a player. Let's give it a listen.
Alone, running and receiving. He's a guy transferring over from Vanderbilt. 9 months ago when he jumped in the portal, everybody wanted him. 11 years ago as a foster kid, really nobody wanted him.
So what he said there, if you didn't catch it, he said 9 months ago he was in the portal period and everybody wanted him. 11 years ago when he was a foster kid, seemingly nobody wanted him.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, I kind of wish I heard the rest of it to see if he was really getting anywhere, because that's like, people were like, this is so wild. I didn't find it that wild. It seems like something I would have, so it made me go, Josh, that's something you would have stepped in. If you were on the broadcast, you would have been like, how can I tie in this guy's a foster kid? Let me see here.
Yeah, he was tying
He's
it
out there
completely in.
fighting for the ball as if it's the last scrap of food at the orphanage.
That is a
You know,
wonderful.
something I would have done a ton of those things, you know. Obviously, he's got a little hunger in his eye. He spent 11 years of his life with roaches crawling on his skin at a fucking orphanage. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would have been bad for me. So that's why I was like, this is wild. I go, oh, I guess it is kind of crass of them to say that. Nobody wanted him.
It was actually I appreciate good articulation like that. Like, it's a nice slide in without like.
It is a nice way.
I think I'm with you on that. I completely agree.
Yeah, I
think
kind
it's
of
nice,
give
I
props to
appreciate
him.
it.
I give props to the broadcast.
I like how you slip that in.
Yeah, exactly. I go, well,
I
now he can
appreciate
go on.
the humor.
Does he move on to say, and then someone wanted him, here's his wife Marie, or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Cute.
Yeah, and then we don't know what happened after they cut it off. They just giggled at him and looked at the phone. But everybody and their mother sent me that fucking clip over the old weekend there. The other clip that I saw that was really fun, this is a little more uplifting. This guy's like a star. This guy, do you remember the tale of, this is baseball now, do you remember the tale of, I forget his first name. His last name was Bartman. He was a kid back around the times of,
Now watch this drive.
back in those days. This guy, Scott Bartman, was it? Do you guys know? Steve Bartman, maybe? Anyhow, this gentleman, during the playoffs, he caught a foul ball.
He did.
No, well, he did also, but Steve Bartman, sorry folks, you're going to be yelling at your screens. Mr. Bartman did this back in the day for while the Cubs were playing, and he was a huge Cubs fan. So he grabbed a foul ball when it could have been an out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Ah, got you.
Interfered with the play, ruined it, and when that happens, they can make a decision one way or another, but it fucks things up. And he got berated to the point where like he was a villain in the city of Chicago.
Oh my
There's a whole documentary
Chicago's
about
tough.
Yeah. There's a whole documentary about like how his life was ruined and everything like that. So this guy, this isn't a playoff game, but it is for the Houston Astros, who are playing very well this season. They're fighting to, win the pennant. And this guy does a similar thing, and let's see how he handles his new fame, because he could have easily just sat in a shell like the Bartman fella and let people like throw things at him, and so let's see how he deals with it.
So tell us about that play and how it developed.
So pretty much, I'm out here with my son. This is our first ever game. We just moved here to Houston literally in January, and I just wanted to make the moment special for. As a father, I feel like it's my job to make sure that I give him the best moments. I apologize to the Astro organization. I didn't know. Y'all gotta understand, when it's dropping down, it looked like it's coming directly to you. So I reached, and my body went for what I know. But we did have a wonderful moment.
Okay, so you reach out, and what was the reaction that you heard right after the play was over?
The reaction, shock, disgust, happiness, sweat, a little bit of lust, baby. You feel me? I was in there feeling kind of hurt, but my fingers still shaking a little bit. The ball way heavier with the gravity. I'm not gonna lie. Charlie Ray, we're gonna be on TV, baby.
I actually love it.
Yeah.
I
Tell
do.
me, it looked like that you went away.
Look at this lady.
And then you came
This is my
back.
favorite
How'd
part.
you talk your way back?
Excuse me, I'm trying to get to my seat. We're doing a shot on ESPN, you stupid lady.
God.
Stop me from supporting the Asteroids. So what
That's my favorite part. He calls the Astros the Asteroids. Anyhow,
It is. That sounds like
pause
something I
it.
would do.
You can turn it off. I just think that guy's great, and like he even like put his like hand up. My bad, I didn't know. That's how he should play. Like my bad. Thankfully, it wasn't like a game like Bartman had where it was like there was severe consequence to it.
Yeah.
This is just a regular season game in August or September. And so, what are you looking up? The guy's name?
Steve.
It's Steve, right? Thank you.
That's awesome.
The Steve Bartman incident.
It just seemed like he was like caught up in the moment.
Right.
And like a real fan is going to be caught up in the moment, and you're going to be like,
he
and
leaned
you're not
out
gonna
over
realize,
the wall.
Yeah.
That was crazy how much he leaned. Bartman didn't really even lean out over the wall as much, but he just like reached out and caught it off of him, and he didn't even catch it. If he would have caught it, it would have been another thing. But yeah, no, he was trying to live and make a moment for his kid, and he did it. So that was cute. I thought that was fun.
I'm down for that.
And I think like they should bring him in to be like the Asteroids hype man. And I'm gonna never stop calling the Asteroids the Asteroids. I think that's so funny.
Astroglide.
Astroglide. Now, before the show, I didn't want to talk about it in the Nice Boy Clock, but we had to get Alexis a lens wipe because she had lube on her glasses still. And as a glasses guy, I was curious how like the degree of things that you get schmutz on your glasses where lube ranks.
Oh man, I've had all kinds of stuff everywhere.
I know. That's what I was gonna say.
In fact, I have my hair back in a ponytail for a reason.
When it's because cum on the glasses was a thing for a while. Remember it?
I still have fans that request it. They want me to, like, that'll be one of the customs that they ask, like, wear your glasses and get somebody to come on them, or
So
we'll
do you
have like a fake dick.
Now, when you're doing that kind of thing, do you have like go-tos? Because customs, you have to, when it's like that, where it involves a man, you have to knock them all out at once, or.
I mean, it depends. So I have a fake dick that can expel fake cum onto my glasses, and like somebody has to hold it and it has
What's
a remote
the fake cum lotion?
It's called Spunk.
Wait, there is somebody who manufactures
Spunk
fake cum.
Or you can get yourself some Cetaphil. It looks the same.
So it looks like it's a prop?
Yeah.
And you can just buy this?
You can use it, actually, yeah.
Can
and
you
it's like
Google this product? Can we buy this on Amazon?
Let's
you can buy it.
promo code
buy
Josh
the bucket,
Potter.
actually.
I don't want to buy a bucket of it. I just, I think that'd be a fun thing to make videos with.
Yeah, and it looks like, it looks like semen.
What is it? What is it though?
It's lube. It's like I think they have a water base and they have a silicone lube. And yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, personal lube called Spunk.
So they make it lube for because they go, well, we have a real niche audience who wants fake jizz, so we might as well make it have a function.
Yeah.
And then it kind of serves two things. Okay, so you throw that into the fake dick or whatever, but then you also have like a repertoire or like a couple co-workers or whatever I guess.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
So, and what I like to do for just like cum shots on my face or something like that for like blowjobs or handies, I rather just hire like a newer person on the block.
I see.
That way I just, pay him for the job. Come on my face. We're going to do this. Make sure you hit the glasses. I ask about their cum shot. Like, are you a dribbler? Are you a shooter? Are you going to be all clear? Are you white?
Huh.
Like, I want a good cum shot on my glasses because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So you got to find the one with the most or least, I guess, viscosity.
And people love big facials. So I would ask, like, are your loads usually big? And like, is it going to be able to show on camera? Because I need you to cover the face.
Yeah.
If it's dripping off the glasses, it's even better.
I've talked about this. I've stunt dicked a couple of times.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's fucking great.
No big deal. But here's the thing. We know my issues. And she was like, well, we can't do like half of these. I'm like, half of these? What do you mean? How many were we going to do? How many are we fulfilling today? And she gave me like a shoot list.
Yeah.
And it was very like, I knew what I was getting into. So it's not like I was like, this is a little too sterile for me. But it was like, not as fun as like just having sex with this girl was. Do you know what I'm saying? Because she was like, okay, we got to stop. And like, now you got to. And then she was like mad that she was like, well, you're not going to come on my face. So like, why are we even. Now I got to like schedule another. I'm like, oh my Lord. All right.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, we have a shoot list. So I did an anal cream pie scene before coming here.
Lord. Right before coming here, folks. Yeah. Look at the dedication. She's sitting down and everything.
Yeah. Wearing a skirt. Good luck for your chair.
Keep that in mind, future guests. Can't wait to get Santino in here now.
There you go. Yeah. So, but because we're shooting it ourselves, we're doing different angles. Like it's a lot of okay. We're gonna cut here. We're gonna move it over here and change the camera angle. Get another light out. So it could be a lot for the guy. It's a lot. I consider that for the guys, it can be a lot more work because they're up, down. And it's a lot to get hard and soft, and then you're going to come on top of it.
Yeah.
At a particular time.
That's hard to do when you're just having a good old time.
Yeah. So I get it.
Let alone work. Well, let's get serious. It is the anniversary.
Now watch this drive.
And now it's time for the news. This one's kind of a sports and news sort of thing. I put it in the news because it involves firearms, but it's in sports because it happened at a Chicago White Sox game. This is from Luke Rutz. It says, last Friday night, this was a couple of weeks ago actually, 2 people were shot and injured at Guaranteed Rate Field during a Chicago White Sox game. And you probably didn't even hear about it. Police initially reported that a 42-year-old woman suffered a gunshot wound on her leg, and another 26-year-old woman was grazed by a bullet in the abdomen. The older woman went to the hospital and was treated for her injuries, whereas the younger victim refused any sort of medical treatment.
Jesus, that's tough as fuck.
Tough, dumb, both kind of the same sort of thing. The whole thing went down during the 4th inning of the matchup between the White Sox and the Oakland A's. And though the initial story is shocking, what's even more surprising is that security at the game did not suspend the competition because they felt there was a lack of perceived threat. So it wasn't like, this wasn't like a woman opened fire. It wasn't like a person was ready to shoot in a crowd. And when it has a big crowd like that, I've seen sort of things like this go down. They don't want to raise panic because then you have people fleeing for an exit. You could have more injuries and tramples. Exactly. Yeah. More deaths because of that. So this is why they didn't think it was a perceived threat. And somewhat of an early morning news dump, the Chicago White Sox put out a statement below. They put it out at 1:07 a.m. Just kind of a little statement at 1:07 a.m. Let's just get this statement out at, how about 1 o'clock? No. Too early. Okay, now 1:07. Perfect. They're probably looking to see what's trending. Okay, good. After that. So evidently, this is what is according to the Chicago White Sox statement. 2 fans attending Friday's game suffered non-life-threatening injuries after being struck by bullets. It is unclear to investigators whether the shots were fired from the outside or inside the ballpark. The incident continues to be investigated by Area 1 detectives from the Chicago Police Department. While police continue to investigate, the White Sox security confirms that this incident did not involve an altercation of any kind. The White Sox are thinking of the victims at this time and wishing them a speedy recovery. 4 days later, though, we find out more about the shooting and where the shots might have been from. Police investigating the incident stated that they had basically expelled the idea that the gun was fired from outside the stadium, meaning that it discharged from within Guaranteed Rate Field. Now, where on earth could they have come from? Now, we are getting word of some unbelievable discoveries from ESPN Chicago reporter Peggy Kaczynski. Pegging. She's going to peg her way into the story. She's going to peg the truth out of these people.
She's penetrating the top headline.
She says that one of the women that sustained a gunshot wound was actually the person that fired the gun. And she snuck it into the stadium through metal detectors in her rolls of stomach fat.
How thick is this woman?
I don't know that we have images,
now
but
I'm going to start looking at everybody on my flight.
Also, how big is this gun? How big is the woman? Probably correlates with how big the gun was.
Yeah.
If it was a little teeny tiny one, that's even still crazy.
Might fit that under my tit.
To put anything, exactly. There's parts of our body that a little teeny tiny gun might fit. Yeah. What do you think? Like, you've held firearms.
Yeah.
Do you think now maybe you should try and take one through a metal detector? You know what I mean? Just to see.
The next time I'm going through
just to see.
Airport.
I mean, how much skin?
Let's test out that TSA pre-check.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how much skin flopped over something can prevent it from a metal detector?
That has to be so deep inside.
Well, also those metal detectors at sporting events sometimes are horseshit.
Are they even on?
Well, that's the thing. I went to a Rams game. This is in 2019. You know, we are many years away from.
Now watch this drive.
But still. We have threats. And I went to a Rams game at the Coliseum, And I walked through the metal detector. It made me take out like my keys and shit, and I did. And I walked through the metal detector, nothing went off. And then when I was inside, I realized I had my knife on me, on my belt. And I was like, how did I get that through? And it made me feel like scared all of a sudden. So it's like are they even really functioning? I don't know. So, and you would hope in the south side of Chicago, where firearms are very prevalent, one would hope the metal detectors are, prim and proper and, operating all. So anyhow, this is all a crazy dimensions thing to me also. Because how big is the gun?
Yeah.
It's in her belly fat. Then, obviously she was moving around. Maybe she
How does it stay in there?
Well, maybe she forgot it was there too. She was because
like,
she just folded it in. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like
she
wondering where she folded that into.
Now,
some people have really deep belly buttons.
This is true, and also I wonder. This is less of really deep belly buttons is true, but also this is like less evasive than like putting it inside you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would be afraid that thing would go off inside me.
Exactly. This is kind of the same thing. I guess it's not inside her. But
to me, if her titties were big enough, you could probably just flop one of those suckers over. Her belly flat would keep it there. And
yeah,
it
well,
would
also
be,
there's like...
It would be like a stable... It'd be like a hip sack, like a little stable,
right.
Sure.
But also, if she's huge, she probably has shelving.
Is there a picture of her?
No, I don't think so. There's probably shelving there. I mean, you could put like one gun under this tit, one gun under this tit, one gun between the stomach. I think where this one was like between the stomach and like, I guess the gunt, for lack of a better word.
Is it gunt? The pooch?
I guess pooch would have been better. Yeah, okay. Pooch is a
pubic bone.
I called it a gunt. It's the combination.
The lower pack?
Yeah. Yeah. So I figure she's got the gun in there. But yeah, she could have had like a whole fucking... She could have been like John Wick out there.
Can you imagine if I had really big tits, I'd put one under one, a little knife under
If you had...
What
do you mean?
I am so...
You're like, if I had really big tits.
If I had really big tits.
So as opposed to these small ones you have today?
I know.
You should try, though. Try and get a gun in there.
I will. Actually.
What's the weirdest thing you've heard of being inserted the other way?
Well, recently I saw someone being interviewed talking about how they were in a relationship with a police officer that was fucking her with his gun. That was
I've
wild.
heard the gun fucking multiple
that's
times.
Like insane to me.
Yeah, no, I'm
not into that.
Me neither.
Not into that.
I don't know why I keep dating girls who are like into like this horrible thing.
Like weaponry?
Yeah, like guns. I need a gun to go click next to my head to come and stuff like that. I don't know.
But I'm pretty sure, like, there's plenty of us that have had vegetables in ourselves.
Vegetables, yeah, that's a little different than a firearm, I would imagine.
Just slightly.
Yeah. But yeah, when you get down that path where they're like, click the gun next to my head, you're like, this is...
That's a little much. Who are you dating?
Exactly. We need to pump the brakes on these types. Anywho, speaking of a psycho lady... Mother hires hitman to kill 3-year-old. This from Luke Rutz.
What? Are you kidding me?
If you can't kill your own 3-year-old, I mean...
Jeez, what kind of mother are you then?
Golly, I mean, if you can't kill a 3-year-old, you're fucking dumb. I mean, they're the easiest things to kill. I'm not saying you should or it's good. I'm just saying...
It doesn't seem like you could...
The added expense, I mean, just...
Who's going to tell on a 3-year-old?
Put some M&Ms up against a cliff or something and they'll walk right off, I don't know. It's a 3-year-old.
It's a 3-year-old.
You could plan an accident.
This happen in Florida?
Oh, everything happens in Florida.
It did happen in Florida. Oh my
Two individuals are facing charges in connection with an alleged murder plot after a mother attempted to hire a hitman through an online parody website. Hilarious. Try not to go on cracked.com if you're going to hire a hitman.
She had to be on crack. Something.
It was all to kill her 3-year-old son. These details emerged from court records originating in Florida, as you mentioned. On July 18th, Jasmine Paez, she was only 18. Oh, babies having babies. That's the problem. Hiring a hitman, though, jeez. Casey Anthony just like...
What kind of money was she making to hire a hitman?
That's what I'm saying.
OF money at 18?
She was apprehended. Yeah, right. She's using her dad's credit card to buy a hitman. She was apprehended after she made a request on rentahitman.com. That's not going to be the URL, folks, if you're hiring a hitman out there.
Yeah, that doesn't even sound like the right.
It won't be the URL. I promise you right now. I don't know much about renting a hitman, but that won't be the website. She's seeking to have her son eliminated, quote unquote, as outlined in an arrest warrant affidavit. During her attempt to solicit a hitman's services, she provided both an address and a photograph of her son. Furthermore, she established a predetermined code phrase for the prospective contract killer, which was, "Put me in, coach." That's hilarious. This puts a new, "Put me in, coach." That's the
whole new thing.
Code phrase for what? I don't know. And who's supposed to say that? Upon being, so she's probably calling someone. "Put me in, coach." Yeah, kill my 3-year-old.
Oh my God, for only $3,000.
He's sitting in front of the TV again. He's on his iPad like always.
What's up with this kid?
I mean,
he doesn't even walk right.
God, I want to make a new one already. Hurry up. Upon being alerted by the website's creator, the website's like, holy shit, someone actually did it. That's like a real lazy version of those guys who catch pedos, like the guys that like show up at Walmart and you're like, you were texting with me the whole time. You ever seen those?
Yes, I have.
Where they're like oddly like getting off also on being like, I'm playing a little girl right now.
Yeah.
And I'm trapping this man. And they're like, yeah, you want to suck on my little girl tits? Like they're getting really oddly
like into it.
Yeah.
And they get
where you're
way
like,
excited about the whole situation.
maybe you should just 69 with the pedophile already in the aisle of Walmart or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know who's more sick here. Which one,
They're both.
Obviously, both. Very, very sick. So the website's creator initiated immediate investigation last month, as stated in the affidavit. The law enforcement officer assumed the role of the potential hitman during a text exchange, agreeing to a payment of $3,000. Only $3,000, one for each year.
Jesus.
Isn't that wild? I wonder if it goes up if it's older. I mean, because it's so hard to kill an adult compared to a,
Maybe it does go up or go up as they get older.
Like
maybe and rather than crawling, they're running.
That's like the hitman pay scale. Yeah, exactly. Rather than they're running, they're smarter. They know
How stable is he when he stands? Does he need to hold on to anything?
All you have to do is that movie It showed you just have a balloon in a sewer and a kid's like, let me get in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it.
Kids are fucking
Throw
stupid.
a ball into a hole.
Yeah.
All she needed to do is go to a well, throw a ball down the hole, and then
there it
throws
goes.
dirt.
And then just be like, no, don't stop, like Willy Wonka.
Oh my goodness. Let me go get help.
No, don't.
Or just throw dirt over it and bury the fucking hole up.
Yeah, like I said, trail a couple M&Ms that lead off a cliff. And
that's what you get for being an
itself.
18-year-old.
Yeah, right? Maybe she should have, the hitman should have taken her out,
She
too.
should have thought of that thing through a little bit more.
Yeah.
God.
So that means she had this kid when she was 15, and only now she wanted to murder.
No wonder she wanted
to
fucking
took my
kill it.
youth, she probably was thinking. She has been charged with first-degree solicitation of a murder, and the unlawful use of communications device for legal representative cannot be reached. The other person, 18 years old, was taken into custody on Monday and is facing conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, unlawful. So that must have been the hitman, or no? This is just an accomplice.
Do you
it was
think
like a boyfriend who was like, I told you to kill that kid.
Jesus.
You know what you should do? Get rid of that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's probably saying. She's like, I love you. This
Why
guy's
didn't
name.
you get that abortion 3 years
This guy's
ago?
name is Gamaliel Souza. That's why I didn't know. We didn't want to misgender Gamaliel. Didn't know what we were doing there.
Yeah.
Where's our? I haven't hit murder on here.
Murder.
It was thwarted this time. The murder was thwarted. So keep your vibrators in check, ladies. Ladies love murder. Are you one of those?
You know what? I do spend some time watching
What is
serial
it about
killers.
it?
I stayed in Montana for like a week watching serial killer movies and going to the Yellowstone National Park. And then I was scaring myself every night.
I'm in the woods. Oh, you're just like,
pretty much.
Let's go. Let's live
And
it.
it's snowy outside. I might not get anywhere.
And then you go home and watch another one. Is it something about it a turn on for women? What is it? Have you heard women express that, at the very least, if you haven't?
Oh, man. I think it's like just the psychology of it. I think it's like, just how in depth and.
But that's like something that you just find enthralling, not sexual.
I find it enjoying to watch.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out which story we should end on that's best. I'm going to save all of these regardless for literally next week because these ones are. But I think I found one that's perfect. Aha. Nice. Aha. Because this one involves something maybe you've come across. This was sent in by David Reed, I believe, a first-time Roach reporter. joshpottershow@gmail.com is where you can send in anything. It says here, this is insane, this story. This is a good place to end. Do you have a few moments? You have 10 moments?
I have as much time as you want.
Okay, cool. Because this story is choice. I'm excited.
And this is from one of your viewers?
Oh, yes, David Reed. Thank you for sending this bad boy in, my friend. This one doesn't involve a...
murder.
But it does get sexy. Ooh. A former college geography professor with an apparent clown fetish resigned earlier this year after it was revealed he asked female students to paint their faces. That's just a little tease of what's about to come. Oh. This man told female students to paint their faces. Now, there's a couple questions I have. How did he ask them? And how did they find out he has a fetish of this sort? A clown fetish freaks me out, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you dabbled?
No, I don't dabble in the clown fetish.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never even put on a...
No, I think clowns are scary as
They
fuck.
Scare the shit out of me.
They're weird. Like,
they're weird, exactly.
I'm not, that doesn't turn me on at all.
If you have a clown fetish, you wish you were molested when you were a child.
You wanted to be that kid.
You wanted it
You're
so
like, why
bad.
didn't my mom make an Instagram account for me? God
Probably
damn
you
it.
saw another kid get molested by the clown and you go, why can't it be me? That was the whole
Why
thing.
didn't Uncle Robbie
I wish it was me. Because clown fetish is fucking nuts and there's nothing normal about it, and I will kink shame your clown fetish, folks.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
So it says here, Joseph Tokosh had held positions at 2 previous colleges and was on track for tenure at Nichols University in Louisiana before the student newspaper exposed his creepy behavior in March. Tokosh quit the same day the article was published. Well, that's admitting defeat. There you go. This article came out in the school paper. I'm going to call it a day. You know what? I'm good. I'm going to bail on my tenure. I have a face paint fetish and convince the cute girls in my class to let me paint their faces. He once posted on Reddit. Why are you posting it on Reddit?
Why are you posting this?
Oh, my God. Reddit is so funny.
Did he really feel that guilty that he had to tell somebody about it?
It seemed like he didn't feel guilty. He felt accomplished and he had to tell somebody about it. He was like really stoked that he was doing it. I have a face paint fetish, can convince the cute girls in my classes to let me paint their faces. So he's painting it too. He's like, I'm going to make this one look like the bass player from Kiss.
Oh.
That's what the one looks like down there.
Yeah, it does, actually.
This one's, you're gonna look
That's
like
what they decided to look like as clowns?
Well, they didn't decide. It seems like he painted them, and he was like, you will look like my little sugar skull, my Dia de los Muertos candy, and he's painting that one on the right. So I don't know what he was doing here.
Yeah.
Tokosh held open discussions about his fetish online, joining Facebook groups for new students and posting videos on YouTube. In one Reddit thread of purported hard-to-believe stories, he posted pictures of several women in white face paint, according to the newspaper. Throughout his career in academia, he had been reported to campus police twice, and other students complained about him online, raising concern about the university's background check protocol when hiring staff members. Did you check into if he was into weird, creepy fetishes? Have you checked his Pornhub history? That would be something that it would get crazy if they started checking Pornhub history to get a job.
Ooh.
They're checking social scores on like your social media and things like that, I guess, you know?
Oh, wow.
Not like social, I mean, I'm using that as an abstract term, but they're really like, they'll go through your Facebook to make sure, is this person a Nazi? You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Is this person really sick?
So maybe do we start going through our Pornhub and being like, what are we searching in here?
Oh, my God.
To
Good
really
thing I
tell a
delete
tale.
my history.
You know, doesn't you are the history. What are you talking about?
I am. Dude, you know how disappointing it is when I see my fucking face show up? I'm like, God damn
It's in your algorithm. You're like, how the hell? Does
I'll be
that
like,
suck?
oh, what is this? It's like a good looking dick, and then all of a sudden I see my face, and I'm like, well, I guess we're gonna be skipping over this one.
Do you ever just watch one and you go, oh yeah, I'm in this one?
Yes.
Like you come in later and you're like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Throughout his career in academia, we talked about that. Sophie Leven was the first encounter of Tokash, then 28, in a Facebook group incoming at Kent State, where he previously was employed. In 2017, Tokash, who revealed his bachelor's and master's degrees from Indiana University, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why he has to give me his fucking resume.
He totally did. For his next job.
Tokash, yeah. He offered cash to any student willing to let him paint their faces. So he's like, I've got extra cash here.
I wonder what that
Anyone
white
looking to
paint-
make extra cash? I'm looking for people to practice my face painting on. I will literally pay you. So yeah, you wonder if he's got his dick out too the whole time.
Well, I'm wondering if he came into the white paint. I mean, think about painting the girls' faces. I mean, we say that in porn.
Oh,
I can't
my
wait to you paint my
Lord.
face with your cum. Give it to me. Paint my tits.
That is a level of semen terrorism
Yeah.
that I had not
I
even
bet
thought
there's
of.
semen in that fucking paint.
Oh my God, you're probably right.
How easy is it to because you got to water down some of this oil and acrylic paint and the shit that you're going to put down. Let me just put a little semen in that. Let me liquefy it. Let me put my special solution.
Is there chlorine in your paint? I guess the
Well, it
paint
could
would
depend on what he's
cover
eating.
up the smell. Yeah, of course. Levin, then 18, accepted, enticed by the cash and her own interest in movie makeup. They're always interested in
of
movie.
course.
I want to learn about special effects.
She
Yeah, let me
probably
show you how
has
to
that
make a
fetish, too.
prosthetic
Come
dick. Yeah, right. Things quickly turned creepy. I wonder when he took out his penis, what part?
And started painting it with his penis.
Yeah, right. He's like, this is a new way to apply the paint.
Yeah.
It's my brush here. Levin, who revealed he was a graduate student, said this is a boy, said he asked if he could pick her up at I'm sorry, never mind, I got confused. Said that he had asked if he could pick her up at her dorm and take her to the campus building where the geography department was located, where he would paint her face. Yeah, he's probably saying it all like, let me paint your face.
Yeah.
It's all very strange. It's like, you're going to leave it. Also, like, let's take away the sexual aspects. You're going to leave the face attached to my head, right? Like, you're not going to paint it on the wall, probably, right? Feeling uneasy, she refused, and Tokash became aggressive. That's when someone says no, it's typically not a great, you're not going to get good results by getting aggressive. I don't know what these people.
Bad move.
After she stopped responding to his incessant requests, she participated. She filed a police report with the Kent State Police in January 2018. I felt like the school would want to know about it. I thought maybe they could prevent anything bad from happening since other girls would go with him. She said that she was told to cease communications with Tokash and let them know if anything significant happened. Months later, around midnight, she suddenly received a text of a selfie of Tokash's sad-looking face covered in white face paint. So he was doing the sad clown with the fucking, probably the tears.
Weird.
Ugh, clowns are creepy.
That's creepy. Look at his. Is that his face?
Down there, yeah, he looks like he could.
He looked like a fucking creep.
Yeah, he looks like he's got the sad clowns.
Yeah,
There's like
he's-
hobo clown. He's got real hobo
No
clown
wonder he was
face.
planning clowns. He looks sad.
Oh, like I said,
He's already balding on the top.
why wasn't I molested, mommy? Months later, around midnight, she received. Okay, so we told her about that. He was sad looking, and his face was covered in white face paint. While there was no message, his shirt read, "I'm not a failure."